This is your daily news report and your third stimulus check update and your stimulus package update as of Friday, February 19th. The politicians, they will be returning back from vacation next week. Nancy Pelosi says that the House of Representatives will vote on and pass the stimulus bill next week. The Republican senators, they will be looking for ways to get things thrown out of the stimulus bill when it goes under review in the Senate. They're also going to be trying to change things like the stimulus checks. The Democrats, they unveiled their immigration reform bill to help undocumented immigrants obtain citizenship. The Democrats are also moving forward with their plans to audit more rich people and corporations. The relationship between Donald Trump and Mitch McConnell is growing worse than ever. This is causing a division within the Republican Party. In a controversial decision, the UK will start infecting people with COVID-19 to study them. Americans are criticizing the government's plan to donate millions of doses of the vaccine to other countries. Over 100,000 people in Texas are still without power. This is your Friday news. Happy Friday, and I hope you're having a very nice day. I'm going to give you two facts. Fact number one, Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen said 15 million Americans are behind on their rent. 24 million adults and 12 million children do not have enough food to eat, and small businesses are failing. Fact number two, the politicians, they have been out of session this whole week. The House of Representatives and the Senate, they are on vacation. And you can say, oh no, they're not on vacation. They're back at home doing district work. But trust me when I say that they are on vacation. Senator Ted Cruz just came back from Cancun, Mexico. The politicians, they have one goal next week, just one goal. It's to vote on and pass the stimulus bill in the House of Representatives. We keep hearing this. We keep hearing next week, next week, next week. But according to Nancy Pelosi, the House of Representatives will deliver and get it done next week. The sad part is that getting the stimulus bill passed in the House of Representatives, that is the easy part. After it passes in the House, it progresses to the Senate. In the Senate Republicans will do everything that they can to slash and modify the bill. When a reconciliation bill goes to the Senate, it gets reviewed by the Congressional Budget Office and the Senate parliamentarian. The Republicans, they will be allowed to vote on amendments, similar to what happened in the Vote-A-Rama session. The Senate Republicans, they will get the opportunity to make objections in order to get things thrown out of the stimulus bill. The Democrats, they will need to stick together to fend off any amendments and modifications if they want to preserve what is currently in the stimulus bill. But it's not just the Senate Republicans that will be trying to make changes. Certain Democrat senators, like Senators Joe Manchin and Kyrsten Sinema, they might call for modifications. Those two Democrat senators are opposing the minimum wage increase. Yesterday, a group of advocates met with Democrat Senator Joe Manchin, and they tried to convince him to support the $15 minimum wage. William Barber, the co-chair of the PPC, reminded Senator Manchin that when the Democrats were campaigning during the elections, they promised to raise the minimum wage. Barber said, it would be an ultimate betrayal to now get here and then have the power to raise the minimum wage and then retreat. The Senate Republicans, they are looking at Manchin as an opportunity to get the minimum wage thrown out of the stimulus bill. The Senate Republicans are also planning to amend the income eligibility requirements for the $1,400 stimulus checks. The Senate Republicans say that too many stimulus checks would go to people that don't need them. However, economist Stephanie Kelton told the politicians that if the income threshold was changed to $50,000 a year, then that would disqualify 40 million people from receiving the stimulus check. So we'll have to wait and see what the final version of the stimulus bill and the stimulus checks will be. Political news. The Democrats introduced President Biden's immigration reform bill titled the U.S. Citizenship Act of 2021. The bill will give an 8-year pathway to citizenship for undocumented immigrants, a faster pathway to citizenship for farmers and undocumented immigrants who are brought to the U.S. as children, and repealing penalties against undocumented immigrants. The Republicans, they are expected to fight against this bill. Speaker of the House, Nancy Pelosi, already sees the fight coming. Therefore, Pelosi is suggesting that they pass the bill with a piecemeal approach, passing parts of the bill one at a time. The Democrats, they have also introduced a bill to increase IRS audits on rich individuals and corporations. The bill will give $70 billion to the IRS for auditing corporations with over $20 million in assets and individuals making over $1 million a year. Congressman Ro Khanna estimates that it will raise $1.2 trillion for the federal government over the course of 10 years. The federal government is doing what they can to help people in Texas. Supplies were sent to Texas, including generators, water bottles, wool blankets, and meals. The administration is also sending emergency supplies to Oklahoma and Louisiana as well, which are also experiencing power outages and water shortages. The Republicans, they are divided on how to deal with the feud between Donald Trump and Senate Minority Leader Mitch McConnell. After the impeachment trial, McConnell accused Trump of lying to his supporters because he's angry that he lost the election. Trump lashed out at McConnell and called McConnell a dour, sullen, and unsmiling political hack. Trump said if Republican senators are going to stay with McConnell, then they will not win again. The Republican politicians, they're taking this as a threat. They fear that Trump has the influence to ruin their re-election chances. It's tricky for the Republican politicians because many of them, they do not want to support Trump's mission for revenge, but on the other hand, they want Trump's help to win back the House and the Senate. Regarding the COVID-19 news, the White House is being criticized for joining COVAX, a global initiative to donate vaccines to third world countries. The Biden administration, they announced that the United States will wait until most Americans are vaccinated before donating vaccines to other countries. Experts are estimating that the vaccine will not be widely available in the US until sometime in July. But that timeline, it could change, depending on the mutated strains and how fast the drug companies they can change their formulas. Moderna and Pfizer, they're currently working on a vaccine for the South African strain, but that process, it could take months. That's according to Dr. Anthony Fauci. However, Fauci emphasized that the current vaccines, they are still worth getting. Scientists are also working on more effective vaccines and treatments for the UK strain. On Wednesday, the British government approved a study in which volunteers ages 18 to 30 will be infected with the UK coronavirus strain. The researchers are trying to understand how the virus is transmitted and how the immune system reacts to it. While these human tests are controversial, they've been used in the development of treatments for diseases like malaria and typhoid. That's the news for today. If you enjoyed this report, please subscribe, and I thank you so much for your support and wish you a very nice weekend.